Hello, everybody, and welcome to our conference orientation. This is actually our first time having an orientation, and we hope that this will be beneficial for you. And we just want you to be ready and prepared for our upcoming conference in Salamanca, Spain. We're so excited to be here with you. So we are going to be talking about conference logistics, getting around Salamanca, presenters' tips, selecting sessions, networking, and special events. So welcome again to the 105th AATSP Annual Conference. We're going to celebrate Salamanca. We're so excited that we're going to be together in España, Ciudad de Español. And here is our student art from SHH, and it's featured in our program, and we're so excited to have this from Albricia. So thank you for the artist that created this. And this is our AATSP 2023 Board of Directors. So some of these faces you're seeing on the screen are some of the names that are on here. We're so excited that we're all going to be with you in Salamanca. And these are our lovely faces. So you could recognize us, as even though we're going to have name tags, you can actually get a preview of what we look like. So when you see us, you're welcome to ask us any questions. So let's start with conference logistics.
All right, I'm Sherry Spain-Long. I'm the Executive Director of the AATSP, and I've been planning this conference, and I'm so excited about it. So I want to give you a few tips for navigating the conference. Obviously, you've invested quite a bit of money and time and planning and getting to Salamanca. So I want to talk to you about how to get the most out of the conference. The conference is going to be large. At this point, we have close to 900 people registered. That will grow. There's multiple conferences going on at the same time that I'll talk about in just a minute. But what I want you to know is there's going to be well over 1,000 Spanish and Portuguese educators in Salamanca at this time. Salamanca is a mid to small size city, so we will dominate, and it's your opportunity to meet people in our profession of all levels for a 3.5-day period. So what you need to do, because it's going to be a large conference, is you need to plan ahead. You're going to have to do homework before this conference to get the most out of it. There will be in our program, the AATSP's program, over 450 sessions and events. Sometimes there are 17 sessions going on at the same time. That means you can't just show up and figure it out in the moment, because there won't be time. So this is how you plan ahead. You're doing the right thing by listening to this orientation. So you checked one box. The second box to check would be to go to the website and are at aatsp.org. And if you go to the tab on Conference 2023, you will find a copy of what will be the print program in PDF. And it's rather long because of all those sessions. But that's one resource, but we're going to talk about multiple ways that you can organize and figure out which sessions you're targeting and you're going to before you get to the conference. So that's what we would recommend. So the third thing that you can, the way you can organize yourself is the guidebook app. And the guidebook app, you will see displayed here, has a number of different features. You can sort by level. You can, for example, if you're a high school teacher, you can look for sessions that are targeting 9 through 12 secondary. And that will help you figure out sessions that are appropriate for your audience. But man does not live by level alone. So we have different ways that you can sort and tag. You can sort and tag within the guidebook app and search in a number of ways. But I'd like to point out that you also can organize yourself in the guidebook app. It's free. You download it. If you don't grab this off of this slide from this presentation, you can get the information from the AATSP.org website as well. Having said that, you can set up your own schedule. So my favorite feature is the My Schedule part of the guidebook app. And I'm going to ask Jennifer, do you have something you want to add about great things you can use? How do you use the app?
Well, I just started with the app. I uploaded the app already. I mean, downloaded it into my phone, but I also looked at the PDF first. So if you feel more comfortable seeing a PDF on your screen and then use your phone, that's what I like to do. So I like to look at the PDF because it's much bigger, and then I could use the app later on during the conference. So in the PDF, what I really liked about that link was that it already told you pre-conference tips. So it tells you what buildings to go in, where they're located, all that good stuff, which we're going to talk about that later. But really, it tells you everything you need to know. So make sure you download that app.
Thank you. And I think that's a great approach. Look at the PDF. You'll get it in your hand as a print program when you're there, but it's hard to flip pages when you're walking around Salamanca. So by then, you'll get things loaded into the app and you'll be ready to go. It will also give you timely updates on session cancellations or changes, things like that. So, so download the guidebook app. It's available for you. I want to tell you about co-conferencing. We've been tossing around that term for the last couple of months, and honestly, I hadn't heard it before about a year ago. It's the trendy term for meaning that there are multiple conferences going on at the same time. So this is an exciting opportunity for us. We are meeting with two other entities, two other organizations during our conference. We overlap and we co-conference. So this is all done on purpose. So basically we are meeting, the AATSP is meeting from June 26th through the 29th. We overlap for 3 days with the Séptimo Congreso Internacional del Español. It's also known as Español para Todos. And you'll see the logo Español para Todos all over the place. Who are they? It's a conference that's sponsored by the Junta de Castilla y León, and it's for people that teach Spanish as a second or foreign language. So what does that mean? It means that there's a lot of people from very exotic places. There are sessions about teaching Spanish in Serbia and things that you've never even thought of. And guess what? You're already registered and you can go to any of their sessions. We have done something different this year where we have cross-listed key sessions and plenaries in our AATSP program so that you will naturally bump into the group that is smaller than our group, but not inconsequential. There will be 300 to 400 international educators that will be attending Español para Todos. So that's a real opportunity for us to meet people that work in the same field that we wouldn't normally come into contact with. And they want to meet us too. Largely, we're from the United States in our group. So look forward to that. Let me just say that we're sharing the keynote, the inaugural event, and that will be featuring Santiago Muñoz Machado. And that's exciting for us to be sharing. So the collaborative piece is really in place here. Another group that we're collaborating with is NABE. If you don't know NABE, I will tell you who they are. They're coming in and they're doing a 1-day summer institute with us. So they're co-conferencing as well. And what we have planned with them, and they're, first of all, they're a large organization based in the United States. They are the National Association of Bilingual Education. They are bilingual educators largely in the US. Most of them are Spanish-speaking and English-speaking teachers in our schools throughout the United States of America. And so having said that, we have a lot in common with them. Some of them also teach Spanish, so there's a lot of overlap. We planned a joint plenary with them that I mentioned on the slide for you. It is on June 28th at 9 a.m. And I hope you all will all go and enjoy listening to El Valor del Bilingüismo. And this is a group we hope to be collaborating with even more in the future. So it's very exciting for us to be doing this. Let me tell you another great way you can get organized for the conference. Slide, yes, on this slide, shortcuts. So I'm worried that people will get overwhelmed with the length of our program, right? It's a lot to wade through. So we have wonderful dedicated AATSP members, some are on the board and some are just regular members, who gave up their Memorial Day weekend to put together curated lists of special focus areas in our program. Let me say that when you see these special focus areas, they are not the only things, and they're not the only types of sessions that occur at our conference. But we notice clusters of numerous sessions on these themes. So you can see them, for example, languages for specific purposes, technology, Portuguese, etc. So all you have to do is scan the QR code, and you will find a very comprehensive listing of sessions on these particular themes. And we hope that this helps people that attend navigate their special interests, things that they're particular. Perhaps you teach literature. Well, guess what? This is a giant short for you to look at this list. So go to page 19 of the PDF program, and you will find these QRs. We will also be mailing out blasters that have them so that you can have them handy however you'd like them. I also wanted to mention there are lists within the print program, or the PDF as we refer to it right now, that outline our special events just in a simple form of a list, and our AATSP program sessions. So let's say you've heard we have a poster contest, but you really don't want to flip through the entire program. Well, you can go to those lists, you can quickly see, aha, that's the session, and that's what I'm going to go to. So we have multiple ways that you can sort of winnow down and save some time trying to figure out what it is you want to identify before you get to Salamanca to take advantage of at our meeting. Okay, I want to walk you through one other thing. So once you get there, how in the world are you going to find your way around? Well, Sybil will be helping us with that in general in a minute, but I just want to tell you about the actual sessions and where they will take place. So we will be meeting in 4 buildings. Now that sounds like, wow, we're going to be all over the place, but we're really not. I'm going to show you in the next slide, but don't go there yet. A simple map so you can see how close and centric these buildings actually are. I want to tell you in the photo that you're looking at an aerial view of a beautiful new building. And the beautiful new building is the Cursos Internacionales building, which is the second one on the list. And if you look to the immediate left-hand side, you will see a building that has light-colored stone and looks modern. That is the Palacio de Congresos. And so what I want you to notice there is you'll just be crossing the street. So you'll be able to jump from one session to the next if you need to without any problem at all. The majority of the sessions will be held in the Palacio de Congresos. And the Palacio de Congresos, most of those sessions for AATSP will occur in the morning. Then in the afternoon, most of the sessions will occur in the Cursos Internacionales. It's fairly compact, even though they're separate buildings. Additionally, there are some sessions in 2 other buildings. The Centro de Estudios Brasileños is primarily, it will be where we have Portuguese sessions in the morning. And that would be the Spanish morning. So it lasts a lot longer than the US morning. And so if you are a Portuguese instructor, you will be spending quite a bit of time at the Centro de Estudios Brasileños. And beyond that, we have an additional building, which is the Hotel Aba Fonseca. And there are 4 breakout rooms there. And so you'll be running up and down and around between the Palacio de Congresos, Cursos Internacionales, the Hotel Aba Fonseca, if you are primarily interested in Spanish, and then primarily interested in Portuguese, you will be at the Centro de Estudios Brasileños. Let me show you where these are on a map. So this is our own rendition of a Salamanca street map by Ben Gibbons, who works at the AATSP National Office. And I want you to look at the 4 stars in yellow. And this is not to scale, but it will give you an idea. If you locate the Palacio de Congresos, that's the headquarters. That is where you will register, and the majority of the morning sessions will be held, including all of the really large sessions that have to happen in a giant auditorium. Then you can go up the street to the new Cursos Internacionales building, and they're very close by. If you look at the top of the map, you will see the Hotel Abba Fonseca. It is a 5-minute walk uphill from the Palacio de Congresos, or the Cursos Internacionales building, but it's very close, but it is mostly uphill. So you'll need to go up to that building if you want to go see, say, Ken Stewart's session up there, and then you'll need to walk back down if you want to catch another session, but you should have plenty of time. And then the Portuguese sessions that I mentioned are in a beautiful, older but fully renovated building, but it's a beautiful old palace. And the building is actually called the Palacio de Maldonado. It's also called the Casa Maldonado, but you can Google it with Centro de Estudios Brasileños. It will come right up. And it is a 5 to 6 minute walk down those streets. And Sybil will tell you in a minute just how really easy it is to walk around Salamanca. So Sybil, would you like to take it away?
Sure. And one of the first tips, as we are probably already thinking, it's that we need to get comfortable shoes to get around Salamanca, because there are some of the streets that are going to be plain, some of the streets are going to be like up the hill. So first tip, getting around Salamanca, wear comfortable shoes, comfortable clothes. Weather should be nice by that time. And first of all, what I want to mention is that as soon as you get to the airport of Madrid, Barajas International Airport, first thing that I'm going to highly, strongly encourage you to do is that ahead of time, get online and reserve a ticket, because there are 2 ways that you can actually go to Salamanca. It is about a 2-hour ride by bus. And as soon as you get out of the airport in Madrid, in the Barajas International Airport, you are going to take a bus from terminals 1 and 4 with bus operator called Avanza. You can actually take this bus, and keep in mind that because there's going to be a lot of us flying, or a lot of us probably commuted, I highly suggest that you go on the website on Avanza and kind of like budget the time that your plane is landing, so then you can actually take the bus. The buses are really comfortable. I have gone there. I've been there for a couple of times, actually, I think 4 times. And you can actually trust. I would highly recommend, I prefer, my personal opinion, to go by bus. It's comfortable only because it's right there at the airport, especially if you are not traveling light. That is actually the best one to go. But the only thing that you have to keep an eye is that you need to go to Avanza, the website, and get your ticket ahead of time. So in that way, you probably give some time for you to relax at your luggage, maybe get some drink by the time. So then you probably kind of like budget about 2 hours from Madrid to Salamanca. Another way that you can actually go to Salamanca, it is that you can actually go by train, taking the Renfe. Now, there's something that is happening, I think, about this time. It's under construction. So if you are willing to go with a little bit of more calm, and like actually it's not calm, you are actually going to go with some stress, but you are okay, because especially those that, that we live in the city, that's going to be no problem. It is also comfortable, but the only thing is that you actually have to take the metro, the Madrid metro from Terminal 4 at the airport to Madrid Chamartín station. And so then you can actually go with Renfe. And the same thing, I would highly recommend you go on the website and try to pre-book these tickets, especially for the time. My personal opinion, I would prefer, again, one more tip. We are closer. Once that you get off the bus, we're closer to the hotel. If you like to walk, I can't remember if it is a 7-10 minutes walk. Again, if you're traveling light or if you don't mind, you can actually walk. If not, if you would prefer to take a taxi, it is also convenient to get to the bus station. Because if you go by the terminal, definitely you will have to get a taxi or somebody who can transport you to the hotel.
Sybil, can I jump in for a minute? I'm
Yes.
going to add to your very sage advice one more small tip. And that would be, please buy your bus ticket or your train ticket in advance. And many have been reporting to us that when they go into the Renfe site or they go into the Avanza site, that their credit card isn't necessarily going through right away, and they recommend doing it with PayPal. So if you have, you know, a US bank and that happens, please go to plan B and see if you can do it with PayPal, because I agree, there's going to be a lot of people converging on Salamanca at the same time, and you need to reserve your seat. Thanks.
Yes, you're welcome. Otherwise, be prepared if you did not, because it happens, because it's a lot. If you did not get your tickets ahead of time, be prepared to probably, you know, like get there and you're probably going to buy the ticket right at the station, but you're going to have to wait. Probably there's going to be 1 or 2 people that probably can jump in, because if the passenger is not on time or is not there, they will take whoever is next. So that's another thing. Thank you, Sherry, for mentioning that, because that's actually what some of the expectations that we got to be ready for plan A, plan B, and have a plan C. So the next thing is that as soon as you get to the hotel and you get familiar with the hotel, first thing, of course, that we want to do is to go to the Palacio de Congreso, so then we can register. So this is the Palacio de Congreso. It's really spacey. There's no way that you can actually get lost. So through these, I don't know if I can share the screen, but through these, you see that there is, after the flags, there's like 1, 2, 3 squares. Right there is the entrance. So you are going to go there downstairs. No, actually, it's like the same level. And then that's where you are going to pick up your credentials in the lobby at the Palacio de Congreso. There's no way that you can get lost, because we will probably see people lining up. Registration is open Sunday, June 25th, from 4 o'clock in the afternoon until 7 p.m. So in other words, 16 hours or 19 to the 19 hours, just in case. And every morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 8 a.m. And you're probably going to see our beautiful faces down there helping out, because again, we are so happy and super thrilled to see a lot of our members and a lot of people that are actually attending our conference. Another thing, that as soon as you get familiar with the hotel and the Palacio de Congreso and you get your badge, you're very beautiful. These are the things that you don't want to miss, because it's actually going to help us to get a lot around. We highly invite you to get to our exhibit halls. Over here, you got the hours. There's a lot of information, treats, surprises, gifts. Our sponsors have worked very hard with us, and they are super excited. They're willing to put all this time, all the effort, so they can support us, all this wonderful group of professionals that we're gathering there. So please keep in mind that Monday, June 26th, from 10 to 7, make sure that in your agenda you budget some time, or Tuesday or Wednesday. Of course, there's also coffee breaks. You may also want to budget that in your time, especially if with your agenda, you know that you're going to be either at Palacio de Congreso or in Cursos Internacionales, or if you're actually going to another. So remember that there's like sometimes there's like about 5-minute walk, and we do have some time that it budgets, so then we can go from one place to another. But it is really important. We cannot stress anymore that we really need to kind of like have an idea ahead of us of how we're going to enjoy this conference. We have in there that it is Monday, June 26th from 11:30 to 12, Tuesday, June 27, 5:20 to 6. And then of course, lunch breaks also. We can also have this opportunity to visit our exhibit hall, which because it will be open, they will remain open during lunch breaks. And there's also some light refreshments provided on site. So all of these days and times are really important that you consider. And a secret, those breaks are really worth it. So you cannot miss that. And the next one, we're going to get ready, preparing for the conference. And so we are going to be getting some presenter tips, selecting sessions, and networking. And I believe this is Jennifer, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So for the presenter tips, for all of you who are presenting, thank you so much for submitting a proposal and for congratulations for being accepted. We're so excited to be able to hear you. And so we're going to have some, please make sure that you save your presentations as PDFs ahead of time, just in case of any hiccups with the internet. You know, we're overseas, it's not the same as being at home. Make sure that you have a backup plan, just like a USB and a laptop as your backup. Just make sure you have these 3 backups: PDF, USB, and your laptop. That would be great. Also, be sure that you completely read your pre-conference email. Read it carefully for any specific information or details that you're going to definitely need. So I think that's pretty much it for the presenter tips. If anybody else has anything.
Okay, so the few tips that I have are for conferencing in general, especially with really, really big conferences. So if this is your first really big conference, or maybe you've been to one and it didn't quite go how you expected, hopefully these tips will help you. So the first one is to set just a few realistic, attainable goals for yourself. What do you want to learn about? So for example, I tell myself, I just want to learn about online teaching, or I just want to learn about comprehensible input in higher education, right? So what is more specifically 1 or 2 things you want to get out of the conference? Set those ahead of time. Don't try to learn it all. As Sherry said, you're going to look at the program and you're going to be overwhelmed by all of the things that you can learn. You're going to feel like a kid in a candy store. Just focus on the main things you want to get out of your conference. And then just focus on attaining those. And then you can make some room for the exhibitor hall, for taking breaks, for going to the excursions, right? To do all of the other things. That is also another way of learning. When you're looking at the sessions, make sure that you look at all of the info provided, not just the title. The title is the thing that draws us in, but sometimes you may want to go to a session just because of the presenter, who the presenter is. So that can be another reason to go to a session. And sometimes the audience tells you a lot about what to expect. Now, I have to say, I have learned a lot from going to talks that are for elementary school or that are for high school, even though I teach college. So a different audience doesn't mean that nothing is going to be applicable to yourself. And sometimes it's great to learn what the other levels are doing, right? And then have flexible expectations. I mean, we all submit a title and a very short description. Of course, the actual thing might look a little bit different. It happens all the time. And don't feel like you have to walk out right away. You can always learn something from everybody. So take it as food for thought, even if it wasn't exactly what you thought it was going to be. And then, of course, take breaks. Even if they're on the schedule, we do have lunch breaks this time, which is fantastic. But even then, if you need to take breaks, even though there are sessions going on, that's okay. You know, sometimes you need to digest everything you have learned and then go to another session. Okay, and then the next slide, what I'll talk about is a little bit about networking, because networking can definitely be one of your goals for the conference. It doesn't have to be just going to sessions, right? You want to connect with other educators. But I have to be honest with you, I am very introverted and awkward when it comes to networking. And for so many years, I went to conferences and all I did was go to sessions and then go hide in my hotel room. So when I'm presenting, bring it on. I'm super social. And then all other times I go and hide. And so what can you do, right? This networking thing may seem daunting, right? So I'm going to give you some tips for networking for introverts in the next slide. If you can go, there we go. Thank you. So the first one is to take the pressure off. Stay true to yourself. It's okay if you need to take a few hours to go hide in your hotel room. It's okay. It's okay if you just want to be by yourself for a few hours. It's okay if you just want to hang out with people you know for a few hours. Absolutely. Don't feel bad. It doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. You have to stay true to yourself. What I do is I set the realistic goal of meeting one new person. And that way I take the pressure off of always have to be networking. Sometimes you reconnect with people, which is also good. But try to meet one person that is entirely new, somebody we've never met before. And one thing that I do that has worked really well for me, even though I'm really awkward initiating conversation, is that I go and I talk to the presenters right after their presentation. So if you see somebody and you're like, those were really fun game ideas, or I really love that tool, or whatever it is, just, get some strength out there, just walk up to them, tell them how much you like their ideas. I can guarantee you they're going to be smiling. They're going to be telling you, oh, what's your name? And then that's it. The ice is broken. You've met one new person. And then when you see them later on at the exhibitor hall, you say hi. You see them again at the reception, you say hi, right? So it just trust me, that one works really, really well, because after we present, we're all kind of still, nervous. Like, did it go well? Did people like it? And there's nothing we love more than to have somebody from the audience come out to say hi and say how much they like the presentation. So please try that, even if you're really shy. And then the other tip for introverts would be to attend some of the town halls. So you will see that in this schedule, there are specific town halls for different levels. So we have the higher ed town hall. So come on by and meet other college instructors. There's the 9-12 town hall. So if you teach high school, go there. And these are great because we are going to have small group discussions. So you are bound to meet somebody without needing to go introduce yourself or do anything like that. So it's a very natural, relaxed way of getting to meet colleagues who you already have something in common with. So I definitely, my tip is to look for those in this schedule.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Parthena Dragut. I am the current president of the AATSP, and it gives me great pleasure to be able to present this part of our orientation for special events. And when it says don't miss out, we really mean don't miss out. It is so exciting. And I would like to thank my colleagues, fellow board members, Cher, everybody for putting this together, because I remember the very first time I went and how important it was to have people to help guide you. So thank you for doing that, everybody. And we're going to first take a look at, we do have a program at a glance, which is very nice for you. It is in the main program booklet. You can see the page number here, page 9. So you can refer to this anytime if you're just trying to get oriented, see what day it is, what the session blocks are, what some of the highlights are that are in bold. So know that you can refer to this anytime. And I believe we also have this on our website in a PDF for you. So this is kind of a nice, like, one-page reference. We'll go on to the next slide. Some things I'd like to say, we're going to look at a couple of slides now of featured sessions. These can be found in the program on page 25. But once again, if you're thinking, gee, I forgot, what were some of those featured sessions that they talked about in that orientation? Or, I have a little bit of time here, I'm not sure what to go to. Let me take a look at what the featured sessions are. And I want to mention, you probably already know this, those numbers are the session numbers. So and they're all in order in the program book. So of course you would see that 140 is going to be much later in the program book. I believe, although it says Monday. So, but we have lots of sessions though. Remember, we have 450 sessions and special events. So I'm here to help you, and Erica will follow me to make sure that you know what some of these great things are. So 2 pages There's another slide coming up right here with some of the sessions. And on the next few slides, I'll be highlighting some for you. So once again, when you're stuck, you're not sure what to go to, you'll want to go in the program book to take a look at page 25. Okay. Now, this is, you heard Sherry talk about co-conferencing, right? And we know that we are co-conferencing with two other organizations, right? It's the 7th Congreso Internacional del Español, it's Español para Todos, and we're co-conferencing also with NABE, the National Association for Bilingual Education. All of us together, well, probably not NABE because that's a one-day, but we are getting together in the Palacio de Congresos because it has the biggest space for our keynote. I really hope that everybody will add this on your conference app, on the guidebook app, and get this one marked right away. It's a wonderful way to get started on our conference, okay? Although there are, I believe, a few sessions before this. So notice Monday, June 26th, look at who we have. Take a look. Julissa Reynoso Pantaleon from our country, from the United States of America. She is our ambassador to España and Andorra. And then we have Santiago Muñoz Machado, the director from the Real Academia. Two very distinguished people to start us off with this keynote address. So this one is not to miss. Make sure that you mark it, that you're ready to go. And this is one that is cross-listed also with the Español para Todos organization. We can go on. Now, we have lots of plenaries. We have panels. We have so many things in addition to our regular sessions. This is one plenary that I would like to recommend, one of them. There's so many. And that's something else I want to say. I try to get to as many things as I can. I feel so badly when I have to miss something. So on the conference app, don't forget to look because I believe we're able to upload our, is that correct, Sherry? We'll be able to upload our sessions, our PowerPoints, maybe some documents. So if you can't get to everything, which you can't, there's no way all of us can get to everything, make sure you also look at the guidebook if you're torn, or divide and conquer with a friend, you know, with a colleague. You go to this one, I'll go to this one, we'll share notes afterward. But this plenary, everybody needs to attend. Notice the time. Okay, it is in the Palacio, in the Sala Menor. It is a mesa redonda, el español en el mundo, what we're all about, right? Spanish and Portuguese, teaching our two beloved languages. And you'll notice that we have a moderator and a list of incredible panelists with Maria Carrera, who will be, when Sherry retires, will be our next executive director. Look at some of these names who we have. Jesus Fernández González from the Consejería de Educación de la Embajada de España en Estados Unidos y Canadá. We have Javier Muñoz Basols from the Universidad de Sevilla. I mean, it is, we have Richard Bueno Hudson, many of you may know him from the Instituto Cervantes. It is open to everybody, and I hope that you'll mark this in your guidebook. I keep mentioning the guidebook because I love that app. It's what I'm checking all the time. It has my reminders. It really works well for me, and probably it would for you as well. Okay, on to the next slide. I'm also very excited for this plenary, okay? It is our AATSP, or AATSP Honorary Fellow Plenary. Seré escritora técnica y misterio. This is our Honorary Fellow, Ana Maria Shua, from the Universidad de Buenos Aires, Argentina. And I have the honor of kind of introducing her, but I'm going to present somebody else who's going to do the honor. This is a truly distinguished person. You'll notice that she has written short stories, novels, poetry, drama, everything you can imagine. She's really well known for her micro relatos. So this is another one that I'd like to push out there for you to consider attending. And I know that you are looking forward to this one. And I'm particularly excited about this, although I don't think I can attend it with all my duties, because I used to teach a full month unit on the Spanish Civil War. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I've already looked into it. I'm going to watch it somewhere. But notice some things you need to know about this. It is a film screening and master class. There's a class sponsored by Platino, Educa, and Ejeda. Thank you very much for sponsoring this. It is a blockbuster film. And what do I mean by that? Well, you can see the title, Mientras dure la guerra. See, it is produced, or the director rather, is Alejandro Amenábar. It was the winner of 5 Premios Goya. And in 2019, it had, I think, 17 nominations, but it won 5. Now, it is going to dive into the Spanish Civil War. It is going to include Miguel de Unamuno. You know this great author, right? It is going to actually bring in Salamanca. I don't want to give it all away, but something that you need to know. It is a free, okay, 30-day access. You have a free 30-day access by getting the code you see on the screen. Okay. And also exciting is that there are scenes from the movie that were actually filmed in the Centro de Estudios Brasileños. So one of the buildings that we're having our Congreso in. So there is so much exciting about this. It is longer, note the time. So if you add this on your guidebook or to your schedule, you're committing, as you can see here, and I should mention this if you haven't already thought about it, looking at all of this, we need to know how to read European clock times, right? Or military time, we sometimes call it the 24-hour clock. So looking at this, we might be thinking, well, in our time, depending on where you live, but for me, Eastern time, I guess depends on, well, just add 3 hours to 12. So here we are, it's 3 p.m. Okay, it goes from 3 p.m. to 5:50 p.m. if we're used to US time. So that's something to think about too, or you might miss something. Watch how the times go. But this promises to be very exciting.
Hey,
yes.
Let me break in for a minute and just mention this quick little thing about the film that you've done such a great job of outlining. Occurred to me that you might want to know if you are traveling with a companion who's not a Spanish speaker, that we were told they will run the subtitles in English. So if you are concerned while you're doing all your professional development and enjoying the conference, that they might need a nice activity in the afternoon, this would be open to them as well. So I just wanted to share that.
That is fantastic. Really good to know. Very good to know. And Sherry mentioned something that I want to capitalize on a bit here. We talk about, I know Florencia brought up networking. We know that we're going to be in this beautiful, amazing setting, right? But we know in our hearts, we're there for the professional development and the compañerismo, right? That we're there with the like-minded people. We are also dedicated to the learning of Spanish and Portuguese and the related cultures. Everything that we're showing you is to celebrate that, to celebrate us having our professional development in this beautiful place, this higher, I guess for lack of a better expression, Harvard of España, right? Salamanca. Okay, we'll move on. And I'd like to now highlight a spotlight session. It's a spotlight session because it is so important. Notice the title, Culturas Distintas, Retos Comunes. We have common challenges, right? La cultura de la investigación en la enseñanza de español en Estados Unidos y España. So this is going to be about research. It's different cultures, but common. I guess I would say are common. What are they? There are challenges that we face in research. So this is a wonderful presentation by Javier Muñoz Basols. He was also in a plenary that I mentioned. Notice that he is from the Universidad de Sevilla and the University of Oxford. And there is more here. And by the way, if I didn't already mention this, in all of these sessions, we're just giving you the highlights, but when you go in the program, you can read the full description for some things. Now here, I believe this is the full description, but for some of the things like the featured sessions, full descriptions in our program book and also in our app. So this is one not to miss, okay? And this is a favorite for everybody. You get to celebrate each other. We are so excited to see our colleagues celebrated, get different awards, be featured on stage. This is a very highly attended session, okay? It is our AATSP award ceremony, of course, in the Congreso, because it is in the Salón de Actos, because it's going to be a huge, widely attended event, sponsored by CLET World Languages. Okay, so we're there to cheer on our colleagues, to recognize them for all the dedication, and maybe you'll want to apply for something coming up in the future because we'd like to honor more people. And all of you who are first-time members, this could be you. So please join us for this wonderful event. Now, we have a clausura oficial. It's kind of like our closing session. And notice the title, haber y haber. I guess that's a play on words, right? Okay, what you need to know about this session, it is going to be a panel having a very informal but lively futuristic exchange about artificial intelligence. We've been hearing a lot about AI. How we feel as educators is varied, right? Some of us are worried about it. Some of us look for opportunities, but it's wonderful to know that we're going to hear these tools talked about, like Chat GPT, for instance, and how they impact teaching, which is on the minds of so many of us. And as you can see, we have a moderator, we have many panelists. I'd like to underscore that two of the panelists are our own past presidents, Rachel Mamilla Hernandez, president last year, and then the year before her, Maritza Sloan. Maritza will represent 9 through 12 and Rachel higher ed. But I believe that you'll all want to attend this. I think it's going to be magnificent and certainly very timely topic. Okay. And then we have some networking receptions. Now I want to mention, and you'll see this written on this slide, they are by invitation only. Okay, these are, you'll see exactly what they are on the slide, AATSP Conference Travel Award winners, sponsored by Vista Higher Learning. We have the Languages for Specific Purposes reception, Idaho State University, again, invitation only, but I'm just reminding you because you might get an invitation. Make sure you respond if you do, all right? There is also a reception for retired and semi-retired members. So yes, there is life in retirement. We're still involved, right? The sponsors, the Center for Applied Linguistics, again, invitation only. And then Experitas is sponsoring our reception for celebrating 70 years of the Sociedad Honoraria Hispánica. And again, it's by invitation only, but it's important for you to know that we have these networking receptions in case they involve you, in case you've been invited, make sure that you don't forget to attend. And the last one I'm going to talk about actually has my picture on it as well. A celebrar. Vamos celebrar. I don't speak Portuguese well, but let's celebrate. This is our closing event, although we do have more the next day. I need to say that, and we're not really done yet. But in lieu of a banquet, we are having the presidential reception, Vino Español. It is at 6 o'clock, right? 12, yep, wait, 20, it's 8 o'clock, excuse me. 8 o'clock, because I have to add 8 to 12. See, I have a hard time with this. I've got to get myself oriented. I haven't been to España since 2018, the last Congreso we had in Salamanca. But everybody's invited to attend, all of you. It is open air. We're going to celebrate. I'm going to wear a brightly colored dress because I hope that you'll come over and greet me. Tell me who you are, how much hopefully you'll say you've enjoyed our Congreso. Enjoy the wine and the refreshments, mingle with fellow educators, new friends you've met, as Florencia gave you some advice on meeting at least one new person a day. And notice that we are going to be with each other and also the attendees from the Séptimo Congreso Internacional de Español, Español para Todos, and NAVE. So please come introduce yourselves to me and the other members of the board of directors and Sherry and Maria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Parthena. I'm here to tell you a little bit more about special events, things to not miss. I'm Erica. We have 2 sessions this year for our SIGs, our special interest groups. One is for the retirees that Parthena was just mentioning. That will take place on Monday, how to stay engaged. And we thank Cheryl Fuentes Wagner for leading us with that. And then another one on Monday afternoon is our SIG for LSPs, Languages for Specific Purposes, and Community Engagement. And Mary Reisner will be leading us for that session. So if you are a member of one of those SIGs, we hope that you will join one of those 2 sessions. Next, as Florencia was encouraging you to reach out to people at your level in a more comfortable setting, one of our town halls or gatherings. So there are 5 this year, starting with our pre-K through 8 for early language teachers and educators. They're calling theirs a networking unconference. So that is a safe space to dialogue with your peers. Then we will have the Portuguese advocacy session at the same time, for all of our Portuguese teachers in the Salón de Actos in the Centro de Estudios Brasileños. And the last one on Monday will be for community college professors, and that's an advocacy session. Their focus this year are what are we doing about low enrollment. On Tuesday, we have our 2 town halls for both secondary and for higher ed. As Florencia said, we would love to see everybody in our levels come join us. It will be informal networking, but also small group discussions. And we really hope that we can hear from our membership about topics of interest to you, and also let you know what we're doing to try to serve you and your needs better. Next, Parthena mentioned page 25, the featured sessions. On page 27, you'll find our very own AATSP program sessions. So this page highlights all that we're featuring on Monday. As you can see, so many amazing, exciting colleagues are presenting to you on all the things that our organization is doing to support you and your students. Followed by Tuesday and Wednesday, we have another long, exciting list of ways that you can learn about how AATSP serves. So I wanted to highlight a few of those, starting with the Sociedad Honoraria Hispánica. On Monday morning, right after you check in and register at 8 a.m., before our opening session, you can join us to learn more about Albricias. That is the student journal published by the Sociedad. Our director, Kelly Sheets, will be telling you more about the publication, and we will share some ideas about how your students can inspire other students by showing and incorporating student work into your own curriculum, into your classes. That's followed by the Éxitos. So that's an exciting opportunity for our secondary teachers to hear what other chapters across the country are doing. I love attending this session because I get inspired by my colleagues who are doing amazing things with their Sociedad members and their Sociedad leadership. And then come join us on Tuesday for our Sociedad and Shaw celebration, our Sociedad de Amistad. We have an exciting award ceremony planned for them, and we hope you'll join us. And then, of course, let's not forget, as has already been mentioned, that the Sociedad is celebrating 70 years this year, and we hope that you will help us recognize and honor that amazing accomplishment. I mentioned SHA. Our acronym SHA is Sociedad Hispánica de Amistad. That is our honor society for middle school and 9th graders. So Beth Gons will be sharing with you on Monday, Éxitos. That is, again, a great way to see how other chapters are providing service and project-based learning for their students, and can give you some ideas if you have a current chapter, how projects that you could emulate, or if you're a middle school or secondary teacher, maybe you want to think about starting your own chapter. And then I already mentioned our celebration. It will be joint on Tuesday. We would love to have you in the Hotel Abba Fonseca. Next, our NSC, our National Spanish Examinations. We are excited to be able to share with you the whole plethora of examinations that NSC includes. So you can come here about how you can award your students, recognize your students, motivate them with these different exams. This is on Wednesday, so a little bit later, in the Salón de Actos, because we expect a large audience. So our director, Lisa Greenman, will be there to share with you and answer all of your questions. Next, we have 2 sessions for our publication Hispania. The first one is on Monday, and that is Hispania for authors. So how to submit, what does the peer review process look like? And then how are you informed about publication? All the details, all the nitty-gritty that you might need if you're considering writing for Hispania. And then the other one that I'd like to bring to your attention is kind of a newer feature in Hispania. It's the short form article. And that would be for our high school teachers, any practicing teachers who want to, higher ed as well, who want to publish a very practical article on how they're incorporating different technologies, different research in their own classroom. So because that's kind of newer, we want to point that out to you and encourage you to come learn more about it, go back to your school community and share it with your colleagues. And the poster contest was mentioned already by Sherry. That has a new look. This year, we started a new digital submission process. And so our very own TJ Troche will be there to tell you how does it look now, what's new, and how can you go back to your school and get your students to make some amazing art, digital, photography, all of that fun stuff, and how to be recognized through visual means. We want to bring to your attention that we also have ongoing during the conference a graduate student competition. There are 4 sessions. Our graduate students would love to have your audience. Those are, there are well, the great honor for these winners is that they will be recognized at that award ceremony that Parthena was mentioning. But this is our 3rd annual event. This has gone on for 3 different years now. This will be the 3rd year. We hope that it continues. And in addition to being recognized at our award ceremony, they will also be recognized in our SPR, our Spanish and Portuguese review publication. So good luck to all of our graduate students who are competing in one of these 4 sessions. Next, we have 7 different e-poster sessions. This is kind of like a lot of information in just 50 minutes, but you get a lot of bang for your buck, okay? So this will take place on Tuesday or Wednesday. There are basically 4 to 5 different sessions happening, 4 to 5 different presenters who you walk around, they have a table, they have their laptop set up, you can ask them questions. There's a wide variety of topics that they'll be discussing, but these will all take place in the Sala Intermedia in the Palacio de Congresos, which is right near our exhibit hall. And we would be remiss if we did not remind you about our chapter assembly. We know different chapters will have delegates on hand to represent their chapters, but this is an open invitation to everybody to get involved and learn more about how your chapter represents you. And we'll also be celebrating our chapter of the year winners. So for our large chapter, the Texas Brazos chapter will be recognized, and our downstate Illinois chapter, Florencia, congratulations, chapter of the year winner for small size. So please come join us on Tuesday morning in the Salón de Actos. That should be a great celebration to recognize what's happening at a more local level.
And Erica, let me just break in on the chapters and mention one more thing. If you're not sure if you belong to a chapter or if there's a functioning chapter in your area, come in and we'll try to answer that question. We do have some states and some geographical areas where the chapters have gone dormant, and we're looking to resuscitate or start new chapters. One contacted us today, Maine. So this is a great way to go and learn about what is involved in having a chapter. And so everybody's welcome. It's not a limited invitation, and not just for chapter leaders, it's for everybody. Thanks.
Thank you, Sherry. Exciting that we have interest in Maine. Next, I just want to remind everybody that we have an amazing slate of candidates that will be running for the board of directors. They will be making their speeches, and we hope everybody will come out to support them and hear from them and what they want to accomplish during their service. We will have our election this October. So what a great opportunity to come hear from them directly, support them, cheer them on, and maybe inspire you to run for our board of directors one day. We do have a very exciting opportunity for our runners to focus on wellness and well-being. Wednesday morning, our events coordinator, Ben Gibbons, will be leading us on a run. We will be meeting at the Puente Romano at 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning, and all paces are welcome. We are going to run along the Tormes River, and we hope that if you're a runner and you're inclined, that you will come find us and join us for a little bit of fresh air, a little bit of socializing while running, and of course enjoying the beautiful city of Salamanca. We wanted to just mention what our organization has been organizing on your behalf. These are pre-registration events, and I'm told that they are already sold out due to extreme popularity. We have a number of walking tours organized by the Ayuntamiento de Salamanca, who we thank generously for their support, as well as some full day excursions. I believe the bodega is already sold out as well, but there might be some spots left for the Visita a Segovia. So if you're watching this early and you are inclined to join the visit to Segovia on Thursday, June 29th, these are free excursions, but you must pre-register in advance. So thank you to the Junta de Castilla y León. Again, free and amazing opportunities for us to explore more of Spain and get outside of Salamanca. And last but not least, for our colleagues who have pre-registered for our Porto Symposium, you will be receiving an email where you can look for all the details, but we're very excited to be able to bring this to our membership, and we want to thank all of our board of directors who've worked so hard to plan this symposium, and we wish all of our colleagues who get the honor and the pleasure of learning some Portuguese in these sessions in Porto, and we wish them all the best. And so please be scanning the QR code and looking for an email for all those details about where to meet for your exciting opportunity beyond Salamanca. I wanted to lastly mention that there is a free travel guide for the Salamanca city. If you have family who will be joining you and you want to give them some tips, they can download this free guide. You share your email address and Time to Talk, the app, has compiled this for us. So this is new, it's very exciting, and we hope everybody will take advantage of all of the amazing resources that they've compiled for us in one place. And last but not least, please share your excitement, share your enthusiasm for our conference by using the hashtag AATSP23. You can see there some of our handles on Twitter and Instagram, but we hope that you have an amazing conference and that you will share widely through your networking on social media, share pictures, photos, and we hope it's a great conference for everybody. Parthena?
Okay. Well, as you've seen, I mean, it was quick, but we have so much to offer. Think about your retos, your challenges you have in teaching. Think of your successes. Think of what you want to learn more about and make a plan, because we have so much to offer, and we're so excited that you'll be joining us. Before we go on, it's really important that we thank our sponsors. There is so much that goes into just planning and financing a conference like ours abroad in another country or beautiful España. But these sponsors, all that you see on this screen, please eyeball this screen right now. Take a look at all of who they are. Okay, some are right there in España, like the Junta de Castilla y León. Others are companies you may know of, like Avant Assessment, Platino, Experitas, Vista, some of these world languages. There are a lot that you recognize. Please take time to go into the Palacio de Congresos during exhibit breaks. Make sure you visit their booths, speak with the representatives there, because they're taking a lot of time and energy and money, to travel to España or travel from wherever they are in España to Salamanca to make sure they're there to, represent, interact with you. They want to meet you. They support us. They are the organizations that make sure that we, those of us who educate and love what we do, can be successful. And here's the second slide with more. Look at all of them here, including, JNCL Nicholas, which advocates for languages, Idioma. I mean, I'm looking on your wayside, Idaho State University. We've just got so many, I cannot say them all right now. Please visit them. We thank them. I, the president, Sherry, our executive director, the entire board, we need them behind us so that we can continue to have wonderful conferences. So thank you. Is this one me too?
So I'm Augustine. You're looking at the side of a wonderful photo of Salamanca with a Casa de Conchas. You can see a little bit of the detail, but the one crazy thing that didn't come up, and I'm just saying, Sybil, just saying, nobody mentioned the Plaza Mayor. So if you've never been to Salamanca, and we've told you where all the sessions are, then after you registered, everybody goes and everybody convenes on the Plaza Mayor. It's one of the most beautiful ones in Spain. And it's a great place to have a coffee, get oriented. And then if you want to figure out more things to do and you want more advice, on the Plaza Mayor, there's always an oficina de turismo official from Spain, and they are in there to help you get oriented, to serve you, and that's another great place to go get information. Slide. And can I do it? I just want to do it because I won't get to do it anymore after I retire. So,
Okay, I'm going to defer to Sherry because I want to hear her get so excited.
thank you, Carolina. So we have a really exciting changing of the guard. Maria Carrera is the executive director designate, and she will take over on July 1st. And she has already begun planning our next annual conference. We rotate in and out of the country. So next year we will be domestic. We will be in Portland, Oregon. I have visited it, beautiful site. And we're very, very excited about it. So we have the dates there for you. There's more information up on our website. And I know a lot of you plan way out and in advance. So please take note, pass the word. It's going to be a fantastic conference. Thank you.